Hi, I'm Ellen Munchauer. Welcome back to Johnnie Bennie Campus News. Starting off with on-campus events, this week is the 2017 Week of Sustainability. Put on by the CSB Sustainability Office, there will be activities every day promoting sustainable practices, including a wasteway at Gretzky, tours of the SJU solar farm, various lectures and panels, and several events in the community, including Make Your Own Ice Cream at the St. Joseph Co-op. The Joint Events Council will be putting on a DIY spa night from 7 to 9 p.m. on Friday, April 7th. This event is great for gifts or for pampering yourself on a budget. This week, both the SJU and CSB Student Senate elections are being held. The elections are this Friday, April 7th, and voting runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Check your email for the voting link. For FAE opportunities this week, attend Liz Weiss Trio at 7:30 p.m. on April 8th in the Stephen B. Humphrey Theater. Combining gospel, soul, and R&B, Liz Weiss is dedicated to making positive change through her soul-filled music. Her debut album, There's a Light, celebrates her deep-rooted spirituality. The CSB-SJU Theater Department will also be presenting Stop Kiss this weekend, directed by Karen Johnston. This play includes mature themes and strong language, and viewer discretion is advised. Performances are at 7:30 p.m. on April 6th to April 8th, and tickets are $5 for students. And now we go to Andrea Walters, who sat down with a few members from Extending the Link to discuss the group's upcoming documentary.
There are more mobile phones in existence than there are a number of people living on Earth.
We have to keep continually updating what we're doing because the electronic waste stream is changing. You know, initially it was TVs and radios and things of that nature. Now you have personal computers, you have cell phones.
Hi, today I'm here with Malia, Aaron, and Brennan from ETL, and we're going to talk about their group and their upcoming documentary on e-waste premiering April 20th. So could you guys tell us a little bit more about what ETL is and what its mission is?
Sure, I'll let Aaron take this.
So ETL was founded 10 years ago by Andrea Caro, who was an e-scholar, and she wanted to go back to Guatemala after studying abroad there to make a documentary about fair trade coffee. And ever since then, the group's kind of built and made 9 more documentaries. This year is our 10th. We film locally in Minnesota and abroad in an external site or international site. And this year we are doing electronic waste, and we went to Hong Kong to document electronic waste.
What can students on campus do to get involved with ETL?
Students can get involved in a lot of different ways, but kind of a more direct, hands-on getting involved with the group. We will have applications for next year's project coming out. We do not know yet the topic or the place we'll be going, but we choose that this school year and research it over the summer. And then we find that out. But we are looking for hardworking individuals who are passionate about social justice and want to work in ETL. So we'll have applications coming out soon. Otherwise, come to our premiere, educate yourself on the topic of e-waste.
You recently debuted your preview for your documentary Loon High. Could you tell us a little bit more about that documentary?
Sure, yeah. So our documentary this year is Loon High, and as Aaron said, it's on electronic waste. And so what that is pretty much your electronic devices. When you have them and no longer want them and decide that you're now going to discard them, it becomes electronic waste. And a lot of that can be fixed. A lot of it isn't, though, and is recycled, and there's all kinds of proper recycling that you can do and can't do. And we know so much on electronic waste because, as we've said, we've been studying it all year now. And so we found out that actually the majority of our electronic waste is not properly being recycled, and it's being sent out to Hong Kong. And so that's why over winter break, 6 of our students actually went to Hong Kong for 3 weeks. And we interviewed a variety of environmentalists, social justice activists. We interviewed some scientists, along with just different recyclers as well, just all these different people, worker right advocates, just to learn the whole process. And we found, so Loon High means connected in Cantonese, because we just noticed how interconnected we are through our electronics, but also just the process of properly recycling them, because it is the largest growing waste stream, and we're gonna have to do something, so. that's what our documentary is covering.
What does ETL do to stay involved in the community?
Sure. So as we said, our motto is think globally, act locally. So each year we try to do a local initiative that's involving the topic. So with electronic waste, and as Erin was saying, a lot of people don't know what it is, let alone what to do. I mean, I just spilled water on my computer last week and had to figure it out again. And so what we're going to be doing is during the premiere itself and the week before, we'll be doing a tech collection. And so we'll be collecting everyone's broken electronics, cords, phones, and laptops. And we'll kind of be showing, we work with an institution in the city's called Tech Dump. And so they will be helping us because they properly recycle things, but also just showing students how they should know what's in their phones and kind of just educating them, as well as really focusing on this digital divide. So those that don't have electronics, while we are just updating ours and kind of putting our old ones in drawers, kind of advocating for individuals to instead donate them somewhere. And so we're working with a few organizations in St. Cloud, and we're actually getting the computers from our school here at St. Ben's and St. John's that are no longer being used to then go there. So that's just a few things that we're doing.
Yeah, that sounds really great. I know we're definitely looking forward to seeing that premiere. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here.
Thanks, Andrea. Moving off campus with this week's political segment, we go to Zach Eichten.
Thanks, Ellen. This week, we begin in North Carolina, where last week, House Bill 2, also known as the Bathroom Bill, was repealed by both state legislatures. The repeal comes after boycotts in the state by various groups, including the NCAA and other high-profile performers such as Bruce Springsteen. The bill had originally forced transgender people to use the bathroom of their sex assigned at birth, rather than in accordance with their gender identity. The bill also rolled back protections for gay and lesbian people in the state. Legislators on both sides of the aisle claim the compromise of HB 2 was bad. Republican lawmakers cited biblical beliefs in their arguments to keep the law in place. Democratic lawmakers argued that a repeal did not go far enough and wanted more anti-discrimination laws in place to protect the LGBT community. The governor is expected to sign the repeal. Going to national politics, President Trump last week tweeted, quote, "The Freedom Caucus will hurt the entire Republican agenda if they don't get on the team and fast. We must fight them and Dems in 2018, end quote. The tweet, in response to their block of the health care bill, suggests establishment Republicans should fight them in the 2018 midterm elections. The stance has been advocated by Stephen Bannon, President Trump's chief strategist and former Breitbart founder. Many of the Freedom Caucus members went to Twitter to fire back at the president, arguing that he was taking the side of Democrats instead of Republicans. Prior to President Trump's Twitter attack, he had invited over 24 conservative leaders to plot their path ahead after the health care bill did not pass. The meeting allowed for policymakers to air their grievances, and attendees said the talks were long overdue. This week, the McCarthy Center is hosting 2 Politics and a Pints. The first is Monday at 4:15 p.m. in Brother Willie's Pub with Chase Cushman, who was President Obama's White House Director of Scheduling and Advance. Chase was a graduate of St. John's in 2006. The second is on Thursday at 4:15 p.m. in Brother Willie's Pub, where Amanda Lyons, director of the University of Minnesota Human Rights Center, will be interviewed. Both will have free pizza and refreshments. That's all for politics this week. I'm Zach Eichten, reporting for JBCN. Back to you, Ellen.
Thanks, Zach. And finally, to wrap up this week's episode, we go to Maya Christensen with Headline News.
Thanks, Ellen. Welcome back to JBCN's segment called Headline News, bringing you the top news stories from this week to help you stay up to date during your busy school week. First, last Monday, the state of Michigan was required to set aside $100 million in a settlement over the replacement of water lines in Flint, Michigan. The state will be covering the cost of replacing these water lines for over 18,000 household residents in Flint by the year of 2020. The state will also be testing the water of different homes after the replacement and will be hiring independent parties to test and monitor the water up to 3 years after the replacement. In global news, the largest dinosaur footprint ever recorded was found last Tuesday. This footprint, measuring 5 feet 9 inches, was found in northwestern Australia in the Dampier Peninsula. The footprint belonged to a sauropod, a long-necked herbivore. The footprint, along with many other fossils found, were as ancient as 140 million years old. Steve Salisbury, the leader of the study that found the giant footprint, stated they also discovered evidence of the first stegosaurus in Australia. In national news, Ford is recalling more than 440,000 vehicles in North America to fix problems that can cause engine fires and doors to open unexpectedly. The first recall covers over 230,000 Escape SUVs, Fiesta ST subcompacts, Fusion midsize cars, and Transit Connect vans. These vehicles, if manufactured from 2013 to 2015, use the faulty engines. The company says engines can overheat, causing the cylinder head to crack and leak oil that can catch fire. Ford has 29 reports of fires, but no injuries. Ford is also adding 211,000 vehicles to a previous recall that would replace faulty door latches. That recall covers the 2014 Fiesta, as well as the 2013 and 2014 Fusion and Lincoln MKZ. Join us next week for Headline News to keep you up to date with your top news stories. This was Maya Christensen reporting for Johnnie Bennie Campus News. Back to you, Ellen.
Thanks, Maya. That's all for today's show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ellen Munschauer, reporting for Johnnie Bennie Campus News. Enjoy the rest of your week and make sure to tune in next time.